Number 3. This is the third of 7, but of course you know we're going to give you more. Now, this is going to be a little bit like a broadcaster snarkiness. By the way, you're going to discover that one of the things I'm going to tell you about is that you should gain some broadcasting skills. In today's world, if you tell someone or you indicate to people that you are learning how to do media communication, that could be a very powerful piece in you finding that opportunity, because that's the way the world works. So I'm going to encourage you to think about that, and we'll talk about that down the course. And that's what we call in the broadcast business, it's a tease. Say, oh, you mean I have to have broadcast training to get a job? What's that all about? Well, you'll have to wait until we get there to find out what that's all about. Well, this is also a bit of a tease. It's meant to get your attention, maybe to even make you upset, or you say, what? Throw away your resume. That's right, number 3 is throw away your resume. And some of you are now saying, Stan, what do you mean throw away my resume? That's the first thing we're taught in getting a job, is we have to have a nice resume. And so, you know, we try and put it together. Many of us actually paid for professional help. There are coaches and guides and counselors who can help us put together a good resume. And boy, we make sure it's perfect. The font looks good and there are no typos, and that it is a very positive and powerful piece of publication, because that's our calling card. That's our business card. That's the way we get at least in for perhaps an interview, which eventually I'm going to call an audition. Again, that's something else you have to think differently about. So Stan, what do you mean throw away my resume? Now, I know you can't really do that. I understand that. Now, if you worked for my company, I wouldn't ask for a resume. But I do know that almost every other company and every other organization asks for a resume. I would ask for something else, but we'll get there later. Your resume. I want you to think differently. A lot of this is how to think differently, and then to change your behavior or to respond in ways that people find attractive and new and inviting, and ways that, hey, this person is really worthwhile. They're worth that high price tag. Here's the problem with a resume. What a resume does is a resume tells somebody else what you did for somebody else in the past. You graduated from high school. You were good. You went to the university and you got an advanced degree, and you actually graduated with honors. They were happy to have you there. You were a credit to them. You did all of those things in the past. And here was that job, and you know what? You were one of the best shoe salesmen that they had at that store. That's what your resume says. That sometime in your past, you done good. Or at least you want to talk about it. At least you want to show people that you did. Now, a very wise woman once said to me, Stan, the past is a canceled check. What I'm interested in is, what kind of cash do you bring forward? There you go. What can you do for me in the future? You see, your resume doesn't tell me how you can help my business, my clients, my customers, the people who I have to serve, who have to be so pleased with what I do that they give me money. What can you do to help me do well in my business? And most resumes are all about the past. So I want you mentally, now unfortunately, as I said, you can't do it physically, and I guess that's okay. You can't really throw it away. But I want you to throw away the attitude which says that what I did in the past is important. No, it is helpful information. What I really need to know is how can you, as I go forward, as I plan my business, as I seek to grow, how can you make that possible? Now, that's a whole new way of thinking. You know what? I would rather you spend less time on your resume and more time on the company report. I would rather you spend more time finding out about that organization and about the man or woman who's giving leadership to it. I would prefer that you spend your time figuring out how you can demonstrate to me that you can be valuable to me. The past is past, full of goodness and full of not so goodness, but it's the past. And what I want you to understand, that you walk proudly saying, this is what I did, but now let me demonstrate to you. Please give me the opportunity to discover together how I can be helpful to you. Oh, my friends, number 3 is really important. Think not my resume, but what people are going to say about me and how I made a contribution to this future opportunity. That's what I mean by throw away your resume. Now, some of you might say, well, Stan, what do I do next then? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to actually suggest that if you didn't have a resume, or if you don't have a good resume, there's something else that might be even more helpful and useful to you. And it's simply a way to tell your story. And that's next on your next job, your better job, maybe your best job.